I am Aldyn, and I'm here with two beautiful souls, Anastasia and Fabian. And yeah, we're gonna today discuss chapter 5 of ACIM, and it's gonna be real juicy. So please stick around for the whole recording.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. So does anyone have anything to start off with, or any thoughts?
What I really like about this chapter is I think it was said in the beginning that joy is an essential aspect of the spiritual journey, you know. And a lot of times we forget to be joyful and have fun. And it is easy to think like that the spiritual journey is so serious and it is all about discipline and inner work and mirror exercises. And, you know, sometimes it is also about just having fun and taking it easy. And I think the truth here is that it is all about the balance, right? Work hard, play hard. And this is what I got from the introduction of chapter 5.
Beautiful. Well, what I got out of it was, of course, a whole lot. It took me forever to read, like last time. And I, aside from that, am on chapter 3. So I just skipped ahead like 1 or 2 chapters or so. And it's like I can tell, of course, that there's something in between, but it's always so like flowing wherever you find yourself in the book. And so I really enjoyed reading about the whole, guilt idea, just as completely being unwarranted, at all times, and how, guilt is basically just a made-up concept by our egos that stands no validity, with God, with heaven. And that was just very relieving to read, just with what's going on in my life. Like, I guess, like, yeah, I know that, but it really sunk it in. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah, guilt is not real, but we think it is, right? And we also have this pattern. I think a lot of us that we feel guilty when we, we do something bad in a way, and then we make it even worse by judging ourselves for this behavior, right? For example, I was a little bit late to this book discussion today, and I wrote to you guys that hey, sorry for the delay, and I think you, Aldyn, you said, it's okay if you forgive yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And well, that is true, because there is no guilt and it's all good. I just need to be okay with it. And accept myself, right? And forgive myself. And realize that there is no such thing as mistakes or stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, it's sometimes it's easy to do like in the now, but I think what happens, at least to me, something that I'm working with is the past, and going back to certain times, especially on my twin flame journey, and being like feeling guilty that I didn't express myself in a certain way, or whatever it might be, but like really holding on to that, which is just really making myself suffer. So it's very freeing to undo that kind of thought and pain for oneself. I think that's a common thing to do, you know, for twin flames too. So not necessary.
Yeah, to, you know, like not to forgive each other. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, right. Not to forgive each other, but also to not forgive yourself, especially. I think, like, in forgiving yourself, it's a little more natural to forgive the other person.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, you know, I work with a lot of twin flame clients, and a lot of times they are judging their twin flame for any so-called mistake or misbehavior, you know, when their twin flame treated them disrespectfully or something.
Right.
And at the same time, some of them also don't forgive themselves for their behavior when they did something bad to their twin flame, right? But it doesn't matter if it is your twin flame who misbehaved or yourself. It is all about forgiving yourself, even if your twin flame did this thing, because especially with twin flames, it is all about yourself, right? And your twin flame is just a reflection of you. So it is so important to forgive everyone, especially yourself. And if there's something that you see in your twin flame, where you think like, oh, he or she is guilty because of this or that, then what you really need to do is forgive yourself for this, because your twin flame is you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And I think that, yeah, that pretty much centers the whole thing around forgiveness. Because you're not going to, like, focus on your twin flame's mistakes if you have kind of forgiven yourself for your own. So I think, like, we take the focus off of ourselves and project it onto our twin flames as if they're, you know, someone else. But, like, really there's this whole dynamic of twin flames, which is, you know, special. And, you know, so we're complementing each other. And so it just becomes necessary to be at peace with yourself, which, of course, like, yeah, includes letting go of guilt and just, like, bad feelings. So I think that's something that this chapter really brought home too, was the whole, like the explanation it gave and the descriptions for kind of bad feelings helped me to process where I was straying off a little bit into that. And like, oh yeah, like, you know, what's real, what's not, like, let me lay it down for you. It's very clear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's never a good idea to feel bad. And by forgiving yourself and others, for me, like, when I apply this for myself and forgive myself and others, it feels very, very refreshing and freeing. It's like I let go of all the bullshit and all and all the things that feel like a big weight, you know. And it feels like like a purification, just to forgive myself. And I highly recommend to forgive and be very generous with forgiving others as well.
Right. I mean, it changes our with other people. Echoing. but it's like we can go about our daily lives in the world, bringing positivity, and like chapter 5 is talking about too, like the whole recognizing, your fellow sisters and brothers as you recognize yourself. And so in, forgiving ourselves and, no more guilt tripping and all that, we really allow space for other people to feel that way about themselves too. And that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like what it really, what I get out of this is the aspect that we are all a big team. It is not like it is you and me and all the others. It is like we are all one, right? Everyone has heard this before, and we work together here. We have all the same goal. And by forgiving others, we are saying, hey, you are me in a way, and if I were in your situation, I would have done the same thing. So let's forget it, start fresh, right? We all make mistakes, it's good. Let's look forward and work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look forward and work together. I like it. Yeah, look forward and work together.
Anastasia.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I hear what you guys are saying, but I thought that it was interesting to see like the giant picture of how, like, basically, long story short, like you were saying, how we're all one big team and we're not, I guess what the word would be is we're not exactly, like, if one of us isn't, I guess, ascended, then we're all not. But like, if so that's the point of us all sharing the information so that everyone, I guess, ascends. That's not the word I meant to say, but what I'm meaning.
Yeah, makes sense. We are working together, and this is something that we see, especially in the twin flame connection and dynamic, right? In the way that it is, the twin flame is not an aspect of yourself that you need to conquer and fight against, in the way that, hey, I'm your twin flame and you need to like me. I'm your twin flame and here are all my brilliant qualities. I show them to you in every way I can so that you finally realize and recognize me as your twin flame. No, it's not like this, right? You really just want to be yourself and take it easy with your twin flame and understand that there is no fight, that there is no separation, and that you are a team, that there is no guilt, no bad feelings, only forgiveness. And this forgiveness enables you to see the truth and to feel that you are a team and that you are one, right?
Yeah, and I like how it's kind of like the Holy Spirit gently is always gently reminding you, but the Holy Spirit will never like do it in like a harmful way. You know what I'm saying? Any force on it. Just keeps reminding you because of God's voice. Just like your twin flame does.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very gentle, right? Love works very gentle. And true power is always very gentle. And ego, as a contrast, not very gentle. So I think it is a trait for true power that is very gentle, because it gives you your power as a creator being, right? It is inviting you to choose it, to claim it. But it just, in a way, in the background, waiting for you to find it, to want to look for it. Very gentle, right? And we have this amazing tool given by God, the Holy Spirit, as you said, that is doing this job, reminding us gently that there is another reality, right? That there's more to life than what we see.
And that's also why he implanted, what was it, the call for joy, so that it would never die. We would always have to answer to, because we all want to answer to it. We all want joy in heaven.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know it. So some of us don't know it. And there's this underlying belief that actually we want separation, right? And so we go through these experiences that result of our choice in separation, and we experience what it means to choose separation, and it doesn't feel good. And so this is a lesson that we're going through. And then we desire to feel better. And feeling better comes when we forgive others and ourselves.
Right. We can't make our twin flames forgive themselves, though, or us.
In a way, right? When you forgive yourself,
right.
they will forgive yourself as well.
Right. Yeah. I was going to read this this on page 80, the middle paragraph says 10. And see, I guess I read the whole paragraph. The Holy Spirit is the perfect teacher. He uses only what your mind already understands to teach you, that you do not understand it. The Holy Spirit can deal with a reluctant learner without going counter to his mind, because part of it is still for God. Despite the ego's attempts to conceal this part, it is still much stronger than the ego, although the ego does not recognize it. The Holy Spirit recognizes it perfectly because it is his own dwelling place, the place in the mind where he is at home. You are at home there too, because it is a place of peace, and peace is of God. You who are part of God are not at home except in his peace. If peace is eternal, you are at home only in eternity.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. Because for me, it feels very relieving to read about that the ego has no power, right? And that there's something much stronger that really loves us and is guiding us. And it's reminding us of the fact that the ego doesn't exist. Yeah, it feels very peaceful.
Yeah, because he created. Because that's why, Holy Spirit came about during the separation so that we could have that, communication still to get out of this bullshit, really. I mean, which is so great, by the way. Like, what I couldn't imagine if there was separation and no Holy Spirit.
Oh, it's not possible, right? It is not possible to be completely separated from God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even when we made the choice to experience separation from God, God gave us the immediate tool, right, the Holy Spirit, to reverse this choice.
Right. It's interesting how the chapter talks about, I don't know where it says it and how exactly, but like our ability to like use ego and to create illusional kind of things, egoically. And it's not real, but like God, like that, basically talking about like how our separation kind of happened, which in truth, we're not separate, but it's interesting to try to like wrap one's mind around that, because the concept sometimes like it's like kind of saying different things, even though it's all kind of a part of the same story, and it is enlightening. But I don't know if either of you have like anything you thought about that or what, because I just like, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, good question.
Right. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like how it says that. Sort of.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
You mean like all of the opposing? Is this in the Guide to Salvation?
What? The Guide to Salvation? Is that part?
What?
Is that
The Guide to Salvation? Is that part? Is that?
Yeah, it's Roman numeral 3.
Oh.
Is that like in that, like where it's talking about
Yeah, I wish I had it.
Yeah, I wish I had it
down.
Or maybe is there a way that you could rephrase your question?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's echoing so much.
It's Anastasia. No, it's good.
Oh, great. I couldn't think because it's like, you know, when you figure yourself. Yeah, that is a good question. Can I rephrase the question? And yeah, I just kind of came up with it. And it's like, I just don't know exactly how it's worded. So, you know, I'll just do my best. But like, it's talking about how we originally were completely, you know, all one with God, with divine. So like, and which is, you know, what we are, but like there was no separation. But then the atonement became necessary because of the separation, that, you know, like our ability to create is something that, you know, God gave us to create with him, but also we were able to create ego and stuff. So maybe I'm starting to answer my own question, but I think that there's like more there that's interesting. Like, what does it look like to really just like, you know, be one? Like, I kind of see like some beautiful, you know, harmonic picture of like utopia and waterfalls and like, you know, like, but it, yeah, like just, I don't really know what my question is anymore. I guess like how, but I feel like I do have something. Like how, maybe like how, you know, how did that happen? Was that like when we were given power to create? You know, I guess like time is eternal, so maybe when is like anytime, but
Interesting. Like, do you mean when did this so-called Satan experiment begin?
Sorry, what was that?
The Satan experiment?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I thought about this actually, I don't know, a few days ago.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not exactly sure, but I came to the conclusion that there was, like, as you mentioned, this perfect oneness, utopia, paradise, right? Which is actually the only truth, and there's nothing other than this, and this is unchangeable, right?
Right.
But inside of this paradise, someone had the thought or the idea, okay, now I want to be God myself, right? This is my understanding of how this came to be. Now I want to experience that I am God myself. And so this being created a reality that it was not in alignment with God and thus not real, but the experience was real, right? And yeah, so that's my take on it. Like, it started with an idea here that let's be God ourselves, and others joined, and so this became a collective experiment.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess like, of course it doesn't make sense though, because nothing that is illusion actually like makes any sense. And that is so, well, it's so true. I mean, like, since I've started, you know, reading this and studying, you know, doing more spiritual work and everything, like thinking about all kinds of, you know, even like conspiracy theories, and even stuff that's not so conspiracy theory, and how oh, well, it sounds like there's some truth to this, but how could people be so evil, like to like scheme up this thing and then work with this person over here, like in this country over here and make, this building go down and blame it on someone else or whatever. And like, well, okay, actually, the reason it doesn't make sense is because it is all an illusion. And so, yeah, I mean, something happened and all that. But the reason these kinds of things don't make any sense is because they aren't real.
Exactly, they make no real. It is insane, and it is
Right.
also mentioned in the book that its ego is insane, right? And yeah, it it absolutely is. I have no idea why you would do something like this, but maybe it's because it is a valid experience in a way. Like, okay, if you have eternity, you can do everything, right? So have fun with whatever.
Yeah, and it's kind of like one of those things where you just don't know what you have until it's gone. You kind of ask for experience in contrast so that like you can be more appreciative of the good thing.
Yeah, very good. Yes. In my opinion, you only need contrast only helps within the illusion to help you find out what you really like. And so I'm not sure how this came to be exactly, but it was a thought, probably an idea, maybe a curiosity as well.
Yeah, I can say in my own lifetime I've had an experience like that because I drugs and I was in hell and I was like, I don't want to be in hell anymore. I'm done. Like, I am God's child. Bye. See you later. You know what I mean? And then all this happened and I met you lovely people, but I feel like that's exactly why it happened. And then I feel like it could be a different reason for everybody too. Like some of it could be people were stubborn and others were coming to help. You know what I mean? You know, it could be different.
Yeah, and maybe the ego also promises, like gives you false promises, like, I don't know, of power, but it has no power in truth.
Right.
But maybe it was, how do we say, seductive in a way?
I think that's a great word to use. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know what it is about that, but it's like it throws you into a loop, like into a karmic loop. And we are drawn to that. It's like the vortex thought, that Jeff was talking about in class, and was it life purpose class or yesterday? Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, so there's like, there's real vortex, not so real, whatever, maybe different levels or however you want to see it. But like there is pull, but it's not real power. I mean, it's powerless, but nonetheless like seductive. So that is interesting, like what that's about. I guess it's like, we have a choice always. We choose ego or we choose divinity, Holy Spirit, or what have you. And so whenever we actively choose ego, we are fueling that fire, or like the idea of I think the Native American idea of like the two wolves or something, and you feed the hungry, you feed one. Yeah. And so.
Yeah, exactly. The ego has only the power you give it, right? And when you say this, then you are saying this from the point of view that you are already in the illusion. And if you are already in the illusion, then the ego has only the power you give to it. And it holds you in a vortex. Actually, not the ego holds you in a vortex, you hold yourself in the state of being that you are used to be in. Because you have so many patterns in this regard. For example, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, who you think you are. Right? Your identity is built around an idea. And you attract your reality in alignment with this idea. So if you think you don't deserve love, you hate yourself and others, then you will experience exactly this, right? But you will experience contrast, and you will come to the realization that you desire something else.
Right.
And God is very generous, and there are always openings available for you to make a change. And you always have insights into what it feels like to choose love, right? You get the taste. And after a while, you will make the choice and decide to come into alignment again with love. And so you change yourself, and this requires willpower. You know, as Jeff mentioned, when you are in separation from your twin flame, it requires a lot of willpower to come into harmonious union with your twin flame. Because the separation that is not in union, you know, that is your false identity, your false self. But you are so used to it. And you have friends that, like, you attracted everything, right? Your whole reality is built up on this idea. And so you need a lot of willpower to change all these patterns. And then you will like, the universe asks you every day, who are you? With every choice you make, who are you? Who do you choose to be? Right? With every thought, with every action, with every feeling, the universe asks you, who are you? Who do you choose to be? And then it is up to you and your choice and your willpower. And if you make the choice, okay, I choose to be my divine self, I choose to be in harmonious union with my twin flame, then you choose thoughts that feel good. Even like in practical terms, you choose food that nurtures you, that feels good to you, that makes you feel good. You wear clothes that make you feel good. You do things that make you feel good, that you would do as a divine being. Right? And so by changing these patterns, and by using your willpower, you change your reality, right? And so you get out of this vortex of separation and move into this vortex that is in alignment with your true essence. And in truth, you are one with your twin flame. And so it is a journey, right? It is a journey where you use willpower and never give up.
That was beautiful. That was very poetic, and I could see what you were saying.
Thank you.
It was inspiring.
Thank you. Back to A Course in Miracles.
Yeah, back to A Course in Miracles.
Back.
You have something to say, Anastasia?
What? There is this one sentence that I circled for some reason because I thought it was really important. I mean, the whole damn book's important, but healing is not creating, it is reparation, if I said that word right. I didn't look it up in the dictionary, so I'm not sure. But I love that because I would always, you know, be doing the mirror exercise. We can all relate to this. And be like, okay, well, I did it. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, when is the prize coming? Like,
The prize,
but,
that's
like,
funny.
it's not-
The prize, that's funny.
yeah, right, yeah. It's just, I guess healing is more, so that you can come into the creating with, or well, co-creating with God. So, which brings me to my next thing would be patience. Basically, it means be patient.
Oh yeah.
Right. Eternal patience. Patience forever.
Yeah, the saying goes like, infinite patience yields immediate results. I like this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've got it down. Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's it like puts a new definition of patience into my head, because I was taught at one point, you know, patience always runs out. You have to have understanding for others. And this kind of like actually merges those two ideas together into one in a way. Like, you know, patience does not need to run out. But I think we're kind of taught that in society, in the illusion, like, you know, like maybe more as a woman too, but you know, not necessarily, but like, oh, you know, be really polite and like just, you know, wait for your turn to do something and da 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 da. But so it creates like this like kind of tension though internally, because it's a false idea of what patience really is. And so we don't see like the peacefulness in real patience, and just like what that yields. So this is like a really lovely, like, you know, undoing of that kind of societal patience, which really actually promotes, you know, this pressured aspect around it. And so I loved that, and I loved that you brought up sentence that,
Yeah, patience is so important on the twin flame journey, because twin flames are internal couple, right? And there's no rush in a way, and it all happens in perfect timing. So, for example, if you really miss your twin flame and you reach out to them and maybe you don't get a response back, you might feel, this never works out. It doesn't look good on the surface. Now I become impatient with myself because I want to experience a loving relationship, maybe. But yeah, what you want to understand here, as Jeff always says, you call in so much love and it is worth everything. And if it, even if it took you, I don't know, billion of years, it would still be worth it. So, you know, what also is very beautiful is you heal separation consciousness once, and then you are done with it. You don't need to do it any more than just do it once, and then it's done for all eternity, right? So you come into a harmonious union with your twin flame, and that's it. You will stay together forever. So yes, patience is very important. And also understanding that, well, God created us as twin flames eternally. So if this concept is true, I can trust God. And if this is true, it is meant to happen. And if it is meant to happen, it will happen. So I give my best, I do my best. I give 100% every day. I choose love as good as I can. And the rest is up to God and my twin flame. And I trust that whatever happens is in my highest interest. And then again, if it doesn't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. You know, if I don't get to speak to my twin flame or meet them today, it will happen. Maybe next week, it will happen. Patience.
Yeah, for sure. That kind of reminds me like of the other, well, like the other aspect kind of chapter 5, or like a big thing that it hit on was the whole healing thing, which we kind of mentioned, but that was a fun one to read, you know, coming from an herbalist background, like lots of healers that I've associated with and everything, and why, you know, like, I don't know about the both of you, but sometimes there's something like really strange about some healers, and then, you know, there's some that, you know, are okay, and then like some are really awesome, and this really kind of brings in what that is about, and, you know, how healing yourself, you can't really like fully heal. Like you can do some cool stuff for other people, but what really needs to happen is, you know, your own healing, and also to understand that all miracles are equal too.
Right. No, there's no difference in miracles. It's all just one miracle. And yeah, it's the spiritual journey is a journey of healing. And like Anastasia said, healing is not creating something, it is repairing something and relaxing into something that you already are. So, is there anything else in this chapter?
I mean, there's so many things. You know, this kind of quote towards the beginning is nice. Thoughts increase by being given away. The more who believe in them, the stronger they become. Everything is an idea. How then can giving and losing be associated? Yeah, because I mean, in the beginning of this chapter, it really talks about giving and teaching. I mean, we talked about it last time in kind of a different way too, the whole teaching concept. But I love this this idea of continuous giving being more abundance, you know, for all. And then also just like, I guess we talked about this a little bit too, but like how we give from a place within ourselves that is, you know, uniting the sonship, as it is referred to. And that's just like, it's so beautiful because we hear it in different kinds of ways. Like in yoga, I'll hear it like, you know, the light in me sees the light in you, or recognizes the light in you. Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing, but ACIM is really good at like kind of delineating everything very clearly in a way that restructures your mind around that. Because like you hear these things and they kind of, you know, they last a little while, or maybe they have a lasting effect, but there's the depth here that really allows for that opening to happen. That's what I feel reading chapter 5.
Yeah, you mentioned some very good things here. One thing that that you mentioned is like in yoga, when you focus on the light in others and in yourself. And this is something that applies to the twin flame journey for me as well. That you only want to honor your own divine self and the divine self of your twin flame, and ignore all the nonsense that is going on, right? Seeing right through the illusion, realizing that there is no illusion. And when you interact with your twin flame, do it in a way you only speak to their divine self, like as if you are already one and like perfect, and ignore their weaknesses, if that makes sense. Do you agree with this?
Totally agree with it. It made me think about how I approached my own twin flame, you know, like what I wrote to him. And I do feel that's true because I mean, for one thing, you can never regret doing that. You can never regret, you know, treating another, which is also, you know, your divine complement, as the divine being, and ignoring the rest will always serve you in like the great, you know, eternal picture of everything. And within the construct of time too, it makes it much easier to absolve any kind of suffering that you've put yourself through or whatever, you know, as far as guilt or anything. Like there's no reason to continue any kind of contrast that's already happened. And this allows us to break out of those patterns and really to be free.
Right. Yeah. And the other aspect that you mentioned from chapter 5, that giving is not when you give, it doesn't result in a loss for you. When you give, you actually create more, right? Because everything is an idea, in truth, even material objects. There's an underlying idea behind them. And when you share these ideas, they multiply. And so give a lot, and don't hold on to things. Let the energy flow freely. Even when you think about your twin flame, don't try to control the energy flow and change it. Just let it flow. And if you feel like doing something for them or sending them a lovely message, let it out, let it flow, right? Give unconditionally, without expecting something in return. Just give also to yourself. This was a big lesson for me. Just give. Yeah,
that's very nice. like the gift is really like, you know, our own pleasure. So to really like see it that way is like, I mean, it creates, well, it just like brings us into alignment, you know, that like the creation's already there, but like we're really like creating with divinity when we do that. And the more that we share that gift, whether it's with twin flames or with others, because once we're sharing that way with our twin flames, it becomes much easier to teach that way, to teach in alignment, to share that, to offer others support in doing that. And then we're giving even more, and we're more abundant because we're tapping into that gift, and we're bringing us all, you know, collectively more together, more in alignment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we are all a team, right? And when we all give, then it's good for all of us.
Yeah.
And because giving is having. When you
Nice.
give, it increases too.
Very good.
Oh yeah, you guys went
Very good.
mute because my thing's all jacked up. I forgot my earbuds, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I muted myself because I was drinking water and I didn't want like the noise of the water. Okay, I guess I'm talking now because you guys are both muted. So yeah, giving and having are the same, and so it's not about having. Then it's about giving, and that is having. And so anything that we create with the ego, that we will tend to covet it, and even giving it, you know, there's going to be strings attached somehow because it's power play, or, you know, basically something like that. And so that's not giving, and it's not having, it's a lack. So it's a lack mentality. And that's, you know, like why we see, well, so many like wealthy people, for instance, that are very, very unhappy, because that's not, you know, because of how the choices that they're making, and, you know, what they're making them with, what they're siding with.
Right, you can't create anything real with the ego because
Yeah,
ego is
they
an
never-
illusion. Can't create anything real with the ego. And this distracted me in a way. I allowed this to distract me. So what I was saying is, you can't create anything real with the ego because ego is based on the illusion, and so everything created, but you can't really create, is an illusion as well. So your choice here is like, you either choose nothing or everything, right? And you can't really give nothing or share nothing. It doesn't work. But if you choose everything, this is easily, it's easy to share this, right? And then this is something that is real because it is created in alignment with law, thank God.
Yeah. Yes, it's all about being in alignment. Oh, and you know, it's talking a lot about joy, and I also really enjoyed that. I think maybe you mentioned that in the beginning, kind of, well, how it was a really like happy chapter to read. And yeah, so it's like, you know, talking about the illusion side of guilt and ego, but then we're brought to this place of what joy is and peace is, and how peace and joy are one and the same. And I'm like, oh, how could I be doing, be joyful when I'm crying about some upheaval thing, with my twin flame? But actually, there is a choice in that to have peace and have joy, even when we are experiencing upsets of sorts. And there is a difference between doing that and choosing to feed a bad feeling with more bad feeling. And then that, and that really does stem from guilt. And so that's very brilliant of Christ to note that. Because, it's like, oh, of course, that really does make sense. If I think about like all of the times that I did that, with being hard on myself and like, spiraling in that kind of a way. Whereas like so there is a way to experience full range of emotions, but still be in a place of choosing in alignment. And that there's just, a feeling that you get that's very different from when you don't choose that way, because the other way is very painful. I'm trying to think of like what to really like say about joy and peace, but maybe like, in a way it kind of speaks for itself. That is just like the natural state. It is our natural state. And that's, again, really not what most of us are taught. And it's, wow, like how relieving, like talk about like a heavy weight lifted, to be able to experience this and to give this, to share this with others too. That, yeah, like this is divine love, to embody this and to feel this and to give it and all that jazz.
Exactly. And the truth always feels good.
Right, the truth. Good point.
Yeah, and ego does not feel good. And so you can also just follow.
Just follow.
Say again?
She said the truth can't be changed.
Nope. So, do we want to read anything else, or do we want to do the card reading now?
I feel like
You just have to say one thing.
Say it. We want to hear what you have to say.
I'd just like to say that I don't know if you guys notice this or whatever. When I keep reading like this book and other books kind of like this and la-di-da, I love how a million different words, but it just keeps saying the same thing to me. Like, like it all comes down to the simple fact of, choose love. And it just keeps repeating it, and eventually it's just going to get beaten into our heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only lesson is love.
That's all I had to say.
Alrighty.
Yeah, beaten into our heads with the stick of love.
Absolutely. I always say like violent words, and people are like, really? You thought that I meant that I was doing this and blah blah. I was like, no, it's an exaggeration. I'm not precise.
No, I like it in a way. I mean, I can make like aligned sense out of that. That's yeah. Maybe not the beaten
Well,
part,
that's good.
but
Maybe not the beat.
Beaten. See, that's what I'm saying. Like one day I told Jeff, I said something like, "Thanks for beating that into me" or something like that, and he's like, "What? You think that I did that?" And I was like, "Well, no. Well, all I did was love you," and I was like, "I know, but I just said it differently." And he's like, "Well, you need to pick your words differently." I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit." Beyond, what cards are you using?
Oh, I have a variety of decks available. But I think we go for the deck that we used last time. The Angel Tarot. That you are very familiar with. Like this one, right?
Right, we are familiar
Yeah,
with that
they're my
one.
favorite cards too.
So, guys, do you have a question for the reading? Is there anything you would like to know? Well,
Anastasia.
who wants to go first?
What about me? I have a collective question. I want to know how our book club is going.
Let's go.
Or like, what could we improve on, or just whatever. Just how generally, how is our book club?
It's 4 of water, and it says, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities.
Well, shit.
Shit. I thought it was going great.
It's not, but hey, this is like not a bad thing. This is like, I mean, I don't know what Anastasia wants to say, but like, it's just saying that there's something more to be had here. It's not saying that it's going badly. It's kind of the same idea in a way, maybe with like our, our private group that's being transferred into more of a public forum. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, it's time for something to happen. That's the way I'm getting it.
Yeah, me as well. There's more to it that we can do, right? We can improve it and change it a little bit. I think we already made a lot of progress in this session, which is our second book club meeting compared to the first one, because in this session we talked a lot about twin flames and how the knowledge that we get out of the Course in Miracles applies to the twin flame journey, right? So that was a great, a huge step forward, in my opinion.
For sure, I agree.
But there's even more. So what I'm getting is that we can make it even more relatable for others. And I don't know, what is your opinion on, I mean, we have this format now, which is like a 1 or 2 hour long video. And I don't know, it's like maybe not, how do you say, like concentrated enough.
Condensed, yeah.
Right, people have very short attention spans.
People have very short attention spans.
Yeah, right. So maybe you can change things up.
Maybe we can have a Skype session in addition to, like, maybe before our next meeting and brainstorm. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would be good, because then we could like have a more organized thing.
Indeed.
Yes, sounds good. Like, I think a little bit more structure, and maybe also like that we publish 2 different versions, like one that is very condensed, just maybe, I don't know, let's say 15 minutes or something, and then the full version also available.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that we work with questions, specific questions that we answer with the help of A Course in Miracles. So that there's
Maybe we could. Oh, sorry.
That there's a specific topic that we discuss in each meeting.
Yeah, I like that. And I just got this idea as you were talking about pulling cards. I mean, I love doing our card readings. So I don't really want to not do that, but actually pulling cards as a way of directing our discussion could be a fun thing to do, like to integrate it too. And maybe we do a different thing, you know, if we're having 15-minute snips every time, power snip, power, you know, a powerful short version.
Yeah, so, all right, structure. And
right, some way to structure it that doesn't have to necessarily be the same every time, but that we've thought out beforehand.
Right, and making it more entertaining.
Hey!
No, it's probably the wrong word here. We are very, I like us. But making it more relatable, like,
Sure.
Why do I watch this 2-hour video version now? Right? So that there's something, a question that we answer. Yeah, something like that.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think I like these ideas. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more and maybe get even more structure and have it be a real, like, powerful thing for us to share and give.
Right. Any other question?
Anastasia, do you have like a personal question that you want to ask? Is that a no? You're on mute.
I'm just one of those people.
You're on mute.
No, I know. I'm just one of those people that laugh at the silence, I guess. He was like, any more questions? And we're just all like...
Well, I'll ask a
Fabian,
question.
do you have a question for yourself? Oh, you have a question.
Yeah, I just wasn't. Oh, okay, from me. Okay. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure if my screen stopped for a second. What is my question though? I guess like how to approach like the feelings that I'm having with my twin flame journey right now, you know, with the most like grace and alignment that is possible, because I'm having a difficult time.
Say again, please, the question.
Oh, how to approach my twin flame journey, like right now, where I'm having upheaval, having kind of a difficult time at the moment. And so how to just approach that with like the most like grace and peace possible. Is that question specific enough?
Different deck.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Oh, recovery.
Recovery.
What's that a picture of? I can't, is it like a person meditating?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can you see this.
It's like the head part is, the person is blurry, but maybe it looks like a woman probably.
Yeah, there's a woman meditating, and there's like
It's like you just can't see a face.
There's an angel or Jesus behind her.
Oh,
Right.
beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is pretty clear advice here. You want to take time for yourself and do your inner work and use the upset to your advantage by applying the mirror exercise, healing it, and transcending it in the way that you understand more. That you learn the lesson that is presented to you here, right? That there's nothing that is that can prevent your union from happening. All you need to do is make the choice within for union, and every perceived obstacle will fall away as a result. So there's no outside force that can prevent you from union. It is an inner journey for now, I would say, is what I'm getting. That yes, take your time, integrate, and learn as much as possible from it, and then move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very nice. That definitely resonates with me. What deck did you use?
Angel Answers.
Oh, nice.
Let me show. Yes.
Okay.
This one.
Cool.
Yeah, Shelia uses this one a lot, and a lot. It's my favorite deck because it's pretty straightforward every time.
Mm-hmm.
I love it too, but mine wasn't brand new, so I have issues with it, and I have to get a brand new one because I feel like because it wasn't brand new that it just sometimes is like it just gets gunked up easier or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
So is your question answered?
Aldyn?
Yeah, I think it feels answered to me. I think what you said is like enhancing what I, of course, like, feel like I'm doing, but it brings it to a point of more clarity and more of just like me being open while also being like guided on that like kind of recovery and inward journey at the same time. So I liked that a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. So is there any other question?
I feel like that's a good question for me. Do you have any questions to ask your deck?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Good question. 1 second. Maybe it's like, is there something that God would like to have me know at the moment in regards to my twin flame journey? Would be the question.
Nice.
So let me pull a card for myself. So it is a King of Air, and you probably cannot read it. So let
Not
me
quite.
speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations.
That's beautiful. That's really, yeah.
Is it?
Well, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I know this is some important communication here.
Right.
One thing is confidence. That I'm very grounded in my own reality in a way where I feel complete and very grounded in my purpose as well. And then there's another aspect, balancing mental and emotional considerations. Not fully getting the message here yet.
I feel like it's the message of that peaceful state, you know, because peace is all about that, like that balanced state. So when your emotions and what did it say? I don't know, your mental capacities are balanced, they're also in alignment. So it's like not something that you're not doing. It's just like, oh yeah, like am I feeling that feeling, coming back to that.
Yeah, I received that and I agree.
All right. Yeah, there's more to it. Balancing mental and emotional considerations. What I'm also getting is that in my communication too with my twin flame, I communicate what I feel at the moment and not what I think she might want to. What I think she might want my energy to be like, if that makes sense. Like, for example, I make sure in a way that I'm not too logical in my communication, and that I also that there's a little bit speaking to the emotions, right? But maybe I can just communicate however I feel like and not try to control in this regard. This is what I got here.
Oh, okay. Well, when you said what you feel like, then that makes sense because how you feel is, you know, your emotional state. Maybe there's some mental capacity there too and logic, but yeah, so just going with how you feel rather than like you were saying, like not like you're controlling it, but maybe you're like, I guess maybe you are, but like, you know, holding back or whatever. I like that. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. So good answer for me. Any other question, or are we done with the reading as well?
I have one question I thought of actually.
What is it?
It is okay. So I'm having like some feelings, or like I'm not sure how to how to stay in alignment and balance that with like like relationships, you know, familial friend relationships that I have, but you know, are you know, I'm not totally vibing with. So like, I'm not sure like what approach to take.
Okay. I already got the card for you.
Wow.
And it is Two of Earth.
Okay. I can kind of see it. I can look at it later.
It says, too much going on at once. They need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. And what I'm getting for you here is that you want to kind of re-evaluate who you want to have in your life, and maybe say goodbye to some of them, if they are not serving your highest interest anymore. So this is something that where you need to make a choice, a decision, a choice, right? And also understanding that you are not responsible to make them feel good. That you're not responsible for them, for their happiness. That you can also receive from them. And that you can also focus on just enjoying time with them. Was that your question?
No, I think that's good. I mean, because you know, playful approach, and at first I was like, wait, where are you going with this? But it makes sense, like, yeah, like how you said, not feeling like it's my responsibility to make them feel good, but not necessarily, you know, cutting off interactions, but like letting it just like, if it's enjoyable or what have you, then fine. And then, you know, like I can make decisions if things aren't working out, but I don't need to maybe like take it so seriously, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also just not worry about like how other people are feeling about my choices, you know, that I'm doing out of love
Right.
for myself and for
It
others.
is about staying in your flow and flowing with it, with your energy. And you can't keep everyone around all the time. And there's some connections to others that kind of fall away, maybe because they might not be part of your flow of energy. And so you want to focus on what your intuition is guiding you to do, and just flowing with it and trusting that this is the best thing for you to do, right? Like focusing within and letting go of everything that is not really necessary for you at that moment.
Right, that's very nice. Yeah, in the moment to moment, now is now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Feel like it is answered?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I think
Okay.
we are done with the card reading.
Woo! All right, any closing comments?
It was nice for me, and now I feel like I need a break because it was a busy day for me, and now I'm actually a little bit exhausted. But I'm also looking forward to the improvements that we are going to make, right? So this will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I concur with all of that. The day is I'm ready to wind down, and I'm excited about how things are unfolding for our ACIM and Twin Flame discussion. And it's been a really lovely time with both of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Green, I can't wait, guys. So we'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Namaste.